They weren't meant to cross paths that night. Nothing about it was planned. There were no handlers, no schedules, no flashing cameras. Just the muted hum of the city and the steady tick of a clock that had just struck midnight. David had been driving aimlessly after a long, draining day. The silence inside his car felt heavier than usual, pressing in on him in a way that made him restless. Without realizing it, his route had led him past the small cafe where he and Barbie used to spend countless hours. He hadn't intended to go there, but when he saw her car parked across the street, something in him stilled. Barbie leaned casually against the hood of her car, arms folded, eyes tipped toward the narrow slice of night sky visible between the tall buildings. She hadn't told anyone she would be there, and she certainly hadn't expected company. Yet when David's silhouette emerged from the dim streetlight, she didn't look startled. His footsteps were hesitant, unsure, but still they carried him toward her. For a long moment, they only looked at each other. No smiles, no small talk, just the heavy silence of unspoken things hanging in the air between them. "I didn't think I'd see you here," David said at last, his voice quiet, almost careful. "I couldn't sleep," she replied, her words barely louder than a whisper. He hadn't been able to sleep either. That much, at least, they shared. They stood together in silence, the kind that didn't demand to be broken. The world had always seen them as golden, flawless, larger than life. But here, under the muted city lights, they were stripped of all that. No performance, no perfection. Just two people, worn down by time and circumstance, but still bound by something neither had managed to let go of. David took a tentative step closer, as if waiting to see if she would push him back. She didn't. Her stillness was its own kind of permission. Their eyes locked again, and in that connection, something shifted. Not a perfect restoration, not an erasing of all that had happened, but a subtle reminder of what had always been there. "Do you still think about it?" Barbie finally asked. "About us?" His answer didn't come right away. He held her gaze instead, and in that look she found all the words he hadn't yet spoken. It wasn't nostalgia for what was lost. It wasn't regret. It was about what still lived quietly between them, even now. "I never stopped," he admitted. Her eyes glistened, though her voice was steady when she replied, "Me too." There were no grand gestures, no sweeping declarations. Just honesty, plain and fragile, in the stillness of the night. Around them, the city moved on. Cars passing, lights flickering, strangers unaware. Fans would speculate when whispers turned to blurry photos and shaky clips, but the truth of that night wasn't theirs to own. It wasn't about publicity or second chances in the spotlight. It was about something small, unpolished, but deeply real. When they finally walked away, nothing had been settled in words. And yet, everything had shifted. Maybe love wasn't about dramatic promises or carefully scripted moments. Maybe it was simply finding your way back, even when you never meant to. Especially then,